Hi there, everyone. Michael here. Um, I know it's really unusual for me to have this many video updates so close together, but um, I just recently had a question posed to me, and it was, "What is the most annoying thing about your diabetes?" And or I'm sorry, what's the most annoying thing people say about diabetes? And this happens to be a really interesting one because, for the most part, people really don't say much to me about being diabetic. Um, but after reading some of the responses and stuff I saw on this forum, where the question was posed, um, and it was also directed to me as well, um, I realized that people have a lot of really negative preconceived notions about diabetes, and that they believe that it's because we over or that people overeat, or because they're fat that they get diabetes or whatever else. But really, that's not the case, because what about children who are born with it or develop it when they're 4 or 5 and are skinny as beanpoles? There's just um, really no leeway there. I mean, I'm at a loss for words right now. It's just trying to think of how to wrap that around my mind. But really, that's just a negative connotation and stereotype that because you're fat, you have to have diabetes, or you don't eat enough vegetables, or whatever else. Um, One of the things that I have heard kind of directed at me by others is, well, you can't have sugar, so, why are you going to eat that piece of cake or whatever? Um, just because I'm diabetic doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have sugar. As a matter of fact, I kind of need sugar to live, because if my sugar goes too far down, I can go into a coma and die. My sugar goes too high up, I can go into a coma and die. So it's really kind of a balancing act, and you just got to kind of figure out how to deal with stuff. Another thing that really kind of like gets on my nerves, not dealing with the diabetes, but people who don't understand depression or bipolar syndrome and stuff like that, and people just be like, "Oh, you need to snap out of your funk." The fuck? If I could snap out of my funk, don't you think I would? Yeah, it's not because I like sitting around and being all emotional and depressed and like just uber emotional like some goth chick on her fucking period. No, I would like to be happy, and I would like to be able to go out and hang out with my friends or whatever, but there's those days where the depression just kicks my butt and I can't get out of bed. There's other times with my bipolar, I never know what kind of a mood I'm going to be in from one second to the next. I could be in a great mood, having the time of my life, laughing to the point where I'm crying, and then all of a sudden somebody sneezes like 2 or 3 people away from me or whatever, and it just sends me into an irate rage to where I want to destroy everything and everyone in the world. Do I like going around being angry like that? No, but I don't suffer from just the anger part of the bipolar. Um, Basically, bipolarism is not being able to control your emotions, and it could be something so stupidly simple, where other people would be laughing at a cartoon. What's going on in that cartoon may trigger me to start crying. Hearing a song may trigger me to start crying. Sneezing too hard can set me off into a rage where I just want to punch a hole through a wall. It's not because I'm temperamental or I like to throw temper tantrums or because I'm flamboyant or diva-ish or want attention or want things to be my way. Those are some of the things that piss me off, is when people just automatically assume because you're having a bad day, that you're just being an asshole. That's not the case. Again, I don't like going around being all, oh, fuck off, and I just hate my life, and oh, I'm so depressed, and I'm so upset, and I'm so this, and I'm so that, or being the only one sitting down watching a comedy movie, crying my eyes out because I'm triggered. Don't know what the triggers are. Never figured them out. Still can't figure them out to this day. The one thing that I know with me being bipolar is I start to have little tics. And if I notice that one of those little tics is starting to act up, then I know that I'm about ready to have an outburst. What that outburst is, don't know. Just, all I know is chances are I need to get away just long enough for me to figure out what kind of an outburst it's going to be. I don't care if people see me cry. I don't care if people see me extremely happy or bouncing off the walls. What I don't like is when I get really mad and people are around me. I have a tendency to black out when I get really, really angry. And I found this out in the 4th grade. So I try not to put myself in situations where I will fight or be in a fight or be in any kind of confrontation just because I don't want to hurt people. And that's what I found out in the 4th grade, is there was a kid picking on me on the playground, and all I know is about 30 minutes went by, this kid pushed me, I hit my head on a wall. Next minute I know I'm holding this kid by the throat up against the wall. He's completely passed out. And the yard duties and the teachers and everyone were hitting me, trying to get me to let him go. And when I dropped him, he just fell, and I thought that I had killed him. And I lost it. I absolutely got so scared that I just took off and I ran straight home. And it wasn't until a few days later that I got called into the office with my mom, and they discussed what had happened and that I started going through the mental health process at that point. So it's just a personal thing for me. I know that I have that darkness in me, and I don't like to tap into it. So I do my best not to put myself in those situations. One thing that people always do to me that really pisses me off and will activate it quick is when I'm starting to have a little bit of a bad time or something's just frustrating me, and they nitpick. And they sit there and they just get up under your skin and dig and dig and dig and dig until you finally explode. Or when people just flat come out and be like, oh, you're being an asshole. I'm sorry that that's how you're perceiving me, but right now, inside of all this, I'm having a freaking nuclear breakdown, and it's only going one of two directions. Happy, pissed off. Sometimes in between happy and pissed off, there's a pit stop called giddiness or whatever. But typically, pissed off, happy. Pretty black and white. So, anyways, I'm posing the question to you now. What is the one thing that annoys you the most about your problem? It doesn't have to be diabetes, it could be depression, it could be anything. Whatever problem you have, what is it that other people say that piss you off? And I want to hear about it. Put it in the comments, go to the blog and comment about it, go to the Facebook page and comment about it. I want to hear back from you. I want to know, what is it, what problem, medical, mental, psychological, whatever you want to call it, what do you have that people just talk shit about and really don't know what the hell they're talking about?